Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cocktails and Dreams, where the bar is always open because it's at home. Today we have some very exciting news for you. Not only are we making 2 cocktails, we're also introducing a brand new Whitewater Distilling Company product. Whitewater Distilling Company was started on the premise of imagination can take you anywhere. And today our story continues where the river meets the woods. I'm excited to introduce to you all Whitewater Distilling Company's Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky. The name Broken Paddle is inspired by a journey down the river where an unfortunate incident led to a journey from the river into the woods in search of new materials to build a new paddle. Looks good to me, so let's break the paddle and give it a try. Cheers. So Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky is a blend of 3 different whiskeys. We have a 7-year single malt, a 3-year rye whiskey, and a 3-year corn whiskey. We've blended them for what we consider a really delicious whiskey, both on its own and great for a variety of cocktails. You can see a nice deep amber color, probably easier in the bottle. Some would say reminiscent of an Ontario sunset. The nose, you pick up a lot of caramel undertones and sort of those orchard fruits like pear and apple, and maybe some vanilla notes in there as well. And then on the palate, once you taste it, again, lots of caramel, so a tiny bit of sweetness in there, some vanilla, and sort of hints of black pepper and almost a sort of tobacco-y hint as well. We like to think a really nice balanced whiskey that will be hitting the LCBO stores within the next week or 2. So keep an eye out there, just in time for Christmas. Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky will be on the shelves at the very affordable price of $44.95. While we're here, let's test it out in a couple of different cocktails. We're gonna make 2 classic whiskey cocktails with our own little twist here and there. So the first cocktail I'm gonna make is the Old Fashioned. And our little tweak on it is we're gonna make a maple Old Fashioned with some maple syrup. So first step, we're gonna add some ice to a stirring glass here. You can make an Old Fashioned in the glass that you're gonna serve it in. I like to get a little bit more dilution from some smaller cubes. And then we're gonna add one of these nice oversized cubes to our whiskey glass. We're then gonna add 2 ounces of Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky. 1 and 2. A little spilly there, I'll add a bit more. I only got half of it in the glass. Next up, your favorite bitters. I like to use an orange bitters. This is from Dillon's, also in Ontario. Just 3 or 4 shakes of bitters. And then typically you want about a teaspoon or so of sugar, or in this case, a nice dark local maple syrup. Then quite simply, we give a stir. We want to make sure all that maple syrup is mixed in with the whiskey. And we get a tiny bit of dilution from the ice, which is nice. Just takes the edge off the cocktail. So I like to stir it for about 30 seconds to a minute. And there we go. Once we've done that, we have our whiskey glass with the nice large ice cube, and we strain in over the ice, like so. We're gonna take a nice large piece of orange rind orange peel. Give it a little squirt around, wipe it around the wet rim. Then I like to just trim it up. Make a little twist and plop it in. And then we're gonna top it off with one maraschino cherry. And there we go. A Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky, Maple Old Fashioned. Cheers. Delicious. Okay, so that's the Broken Paddle Maple Old Fashioned. Moving on to our second cocktail of the day, we're gonna make a Whisky Sour. So another classic cocktail, but very different. Obviously a lot more citrusy and sour, and showcases the whiskey in a different light. So grab your favorite cocktail shaker, you know, roughly half fill it with some ice. There we go. We're then gonna add 2 ounces of Broken Paddle whiskey. Add 3/4 of an ounce of maple syrup. We're going to cut a lemon in half and use approximately 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Or an easier measure is about half a lemon. There we go. Next ingredient is optional, but I really like the texture that it brings, and that's adding an egg white. So we just crack open the egg. For one cocktail, you only need about half of an egg white. So the ingredients are in the shaker. We're gonna put our lid back on. Make sure it's closed nice and tight, and give it a nice aggressive shake. Now, if you were making 2 or 3 cocktails in one shaker, you would want to do what's called a dry shake first, which is shaking with no ice. When you're just making one, there's enough space in here to still get the froth and the foam while shaking with ice. So I haven't this time round. And then we grab our nice Whisky Sour glass and strain straight into the glass. So the lemon juice gives it a lot of nice cloudiness. Broken Paddle whiskey gives it a nice brown hue. And the egg white gives it this beautiful foamy top and a nice velvety mouthfeel. To garnish, I'm going to use an orange wheel. You can pretty much use any citrus you like. I'm just cutting a nice slice of orange. We're gonna lay it in there. And as I have them here already, and I think it will make a really nice splash on the nice white foam, we're gonna add another maraschino cherry. Perfect. And there we have it. The first ever Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky, Whisky Sour. Cheers. And there we have it. Whitewater Distilling Company's second ever spirit. This is Broken Paddle Artisanal Whisky, as I said, launching in the LCBO in the next couple of weeks and available in store right away. We're really excited by this project. We hope you are too. Thanks for watching Cocktails and Dreams, where the bar is always open because it's at home.